it 0-0 against Farsley. It wasn't a classic, but did you get what you wanted out of it?
That's a bit generous, isn't it? That wasn't a classic. Yeah, it was a poor game of football. I think it was two teams didn't really have an intensity about them today. I think you sometimes get that. I know the lads are fit enough. I've seen enough on training on Thursday to suggest that we're going to be sharp when the season comes round. Would I like a little bit more out of us today? Yes. But I thought, yeah, defensively we looked sound. There wasn't really many chances either way. And yeah, there's some things to work on this week, just in terms of the counter-attacking play was a little bit too slow. Didn't really find that first pass out. But it's been a long pre-season, and again, I'm happy with the way it's gone. I knew whatever happened today, I was going to be happy with it, because it's not just one game pre-season. It's been a culmination of many games and many players coming together, and I think we do look like a team. Need a little bit more cutting edge, and I do need more options at the top end of the pitch. We're a little bit light, not in terms of the starting 11, but in terms of the depth that we've got. So we were working hard on it this week. A couple fell through later in the week, and we'll be doing the same again next week. But Yanni should be back for next week into the squad. It's brilliant to get Theo back onto the pitch, because he'll be a big player once he is up and running. And then obviously we've got a couple of lads suspended. They'll add strength to us once the 2 or 3 game bans are out the way. So we might go into the game next week a little bit lighter than I would like, but the squad that we will have together probably after 3 or 4 games will look like a very strong squad.
Yeah, was that the pleasing aspect today, that you kept a side who finished in the top 10 of the National League North? Barely any chance. I think the closest chance we said was from a free kick that dribbled wide.
Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I thought the centre-halves were outstanding. Goalkeeper Joe looked assured. He didn't really have a lot to do. And there was probably 5 or 6 players out there who I thought were on the front foot. Like Carl Brownhill was on the front foot all game, his best game of pre-season. But then there was 3 or 4 that weren't quite at that. And so some of them have played more minutes than I would have liked because of the injuries in recent weeks. Players like Pratty, Daishi, not quite at the top level, yeah. But I know where they'll be next week.
Is that the concern going forward a little bit? That final pass at times just wasn't there, and like say they had the one clear-cut chance which Jack Sherrick should have scored really, but apart from that, it was either a bit last ditch or that final ball wasn't picked, was it?
I thought we got in some very good positions, but it just seemed to be almost like with the sticky pitch, everything was just a little bit too slow, and we allowed recovering defenders to get back in. We allowed, it's like Pratty's chance first half, it doesn't become a chance because the lad got back in and got a block. He shouldn't get the block, you know, but with the pitch being sticky, he couldn't get the touch out of his feet. He had exactly the same in the second half, and there should have been 2 1v1 opportunities, you know, so that's where I mean about that cutting edge. We just didn't have that final spark today, but I'm not really concerned about it. It's something that I've seen in the previous games where I know we're going to create chances, and then yeah, we're going to have to put them away, and I'll be going with what we've got at the moment, but there'll certainly be players coming in at the top end as well.
And in terms then of completely what I was going to say then, signings, of course, you're going to announce a couple more this week, hopefully, aren't you?
Yep, so your trialist day, our centre half is pretty much there. That'll go over the line the next couple of days. Seydu's came on, he's going to sign registration forms, but Seydu's got a long way to go in terms of match fitness. I think he died of death after about 10 minutes there.
Though, he gives the spark. You could hear the crowd, and he offers something different, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a fan's favourite already, and he's probably the most popular lad in the dressing room already. The lads love him. He brings like a real energy to the group, so we're glad to have him on board. And then he knows tactically he's got to do work, and his fitness levels are not quite up to speed because he's been out with a groin injury. But yeah, them 2 players will certainly add more competition. And then yeah, I still want 2 more in. So I thought we had one over the line on Friday, but fell through at the last minute, which I'm a bit disappointed with. But if we start with what we've got today, next week, I'll be happy with that.
March was the last time we spoke after a competitive game. It's 7 days away now, games with a big kick-off.
Yeah, it does feel like an eternity, and it's only really the last 2 weeks where it feels like we are working towards a start there, because you're always worried like what's going to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting now, and you start to get that buzz about you. It'll be one of them Tuesday, Thursday, like squad photos happening, and then that real buzz about the first game of the season that everyone has. And it's always the results are always emphasised on the first day. So if you win, it's like yeah, you're on top of the world. If you lose, it's like we've built all the way up to this. It's going to be a long season, Yeah, we're going to Gainsborough to win. But is the season going to be decided by that first game? No, but yeah, I'm going there wanting 3 points, and it's a difficult start to the season in terms of the games we've got. But we had that last season, and we'll be going into every game looking for maximum points.
Bro, Chris, have you got anything? Or?
I was just going to say an unbeaten pre-season. Was it everything you hoped for?
Yeah, just injuries. So, I think it's today. I'm saying we're light, but we've done well with recruitment because we've lost our main centre half, we've lost our main centre forward. Yanni Lipka's another one we lost in midfield. We've got 2 players suspended for next week who haven't been involved today. So you take them 5 players out of any squad, and it's going to look a little bit light, but. I'm looking at the starting 11, and like I said, I'm happy with what's out there, and I still want to add to that. But if we'd have lost them 5 players during last pre-season, we'd have been in big trouble. So I'm saying 3 or 4 games, I think we'll be looking at a lot stronger. But that's not me ruling the first 3 or 4 games out, because I'm happy with where we're at.
And Louis Myers, just an update on him.
It's going to be months rather than weeks, so that's what we were really focusing on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, trying to get a centre forward in. We kind of put all of our eggs in one basket a little bit and really pushed for that, but we didn't get it over the line. That deal's dead now, so we'll move on this week and look, because I think Pratty's a great option in the 9, but there is some games where you just need that little bit more physicality, and I've said it before, it's always the most difficult position to find. No one's given away a good centre forward, so we'll work hard again this week, and if we don't get anything, like I said, we're happy with Pratty in the 9, and he'll score goals. If he played every game in the 9, I think he'd get 20 plus goals, but he's good in other positions as well. If you could play Pratty anywhere in the top 4, midfield, right back, he'd do a job for you. And I'd like to, just get that little bit more competition, because I don't want to get to 70 minutes next week and look around on the bench and think I haven't really got anything to bring on here. And today, you seem like Theo's came on. That's brilliant, but that's his first 20 minutes in a year. He might not be the option. He will be at some point. And then Seydoux is another one you're looking around to change a game. Not quite got the energy and the physical levels yet. So. We'll do some work on that this week.
Also, it's been good the last 3 home games to see the fans back in as well, and decent turnouts in all 3 games.
Yeah, I'm not sure they'd come back after that game today. It was a bad game of football, but it's brilliant to see them, and I've been surprised by the turnouts, to be honest. It's been over a couple of hundred every time. I don't think we normally get that. So I presume they've missed their football, we've missed seeing them, and it makes a difference when they're in the ground. It was quiet today, but that's because we didn't really give them a lot to shout about. And I know come South Shields, we'll see what the FA Cup draw is, but South Shields, FC United at home, I'll promise that we'll give them something different on the pitch to shout about, and I'm sure they'll get behind us from the stands.
Real. Cheers, best of
luck. Right,
Dave.
thanks fellas.